not just from what did happen in my life, but what also didn't happen in those challenging times was really incredible.
Wow. I mean, to put that in context, we went through the inner circle just as coronavirus hit and everybody was in lockdown and having to deal with massive changes in their lives and not really knowing what was coming around the corner. I mean, we're a bit further down that journey at the moment, but you were particularly challenged, I think, weren't you, from coronavirus and all of the anxiety that went around with it, and you managed it very well.
Yeah, absolutely. I truly think that if I didn't have the inner circle in my life at that time, it would have been a much more difficult period in my life.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
When you found me, we first met, didn't we? Just at the beginning of the year, the end of last year, the beginning of this year. Mm-hmm. What was it that made you think, okay, I'm going to go work with Sarah?
Yeah. So I actually listened to one of your recorded journeys or coaching sessions, and I couldn't believe how powerful that recording was for me. And I just had this feeling that I need to work with her. I didn't know what it would look like at the time, but soon after I got into contact with you and started exploring some different options and came across the inner circle, and it was just a perfect fit for where I was. But really it was a leap of faith, both in you, but in myself too, to invest that. I just had this feeling I had to join.
That's a really good point. I think the leap of faith, not just in the person that you're going to work with, but in the fact that you're actually going to really nurture and open your heart to the possibilities of yourself. A really nice description. Now, I know that we had some pulls and pushes when we first met, and lots of fears came up for you, didn't they?
Yes.
Can you share a little bit about how you overcame your fear and what it was that was?
Yeah, sure. I'm just trying to think of which one I want to choose to share, because there were many. I think that one of the biggest fears I had was actually around accepting my own spirituality and my own, I would call them gifts, really, and delving into, utilizing those as strengths rather than hiding them. And this program gave me the opportunity to connect with other, in my case, women in my group, and also you, Sarah, and understand truly that those were strengths and they weren't something that I needed to hide. And now I see myself integrating them into my life every day, even in the corporate world, which I never thought was possible. I thought it was maybe a little too touchy-feely for the organization that I'm in, but I'm noticing, I don't know if it's the times that we're in or just me uncovering this, that people are more open and, accepting to a different way of doing things, to going a little bit deeper. And I think part of that is being a little bit fed up with things not working out on the surface, right? When we just look at the surface issues, and when we go a little bit deeper, there's opportunity to do more. And I think I really got to be able to truly utilize those gifts through working with you. And the fear was totally around, will I be able to be successful with these implementing these gifts, or will I be thought of as a fraud? And I'm still working through some of those things, but it's really been eye-opening, incredibly helpful in my day-to-day job, and just fulfilling for myself as well.
I mean, when you talk about spiritual gifts, just to translate that into language that people that are watching might understand easier, you're talking about intuition, empathy, being able to read energy of other people.
Right.
Yeah, this is what I think you mean. Is that right?
Yeah, read energy and also bring awareness to it, right? Because I think I've always been able to read it, but not known what to do with it. And now I sort of am able to call it out in moments and get people to think a little bit more, or do it even with myself or my loved ones. And I found that so powerful.
Well, thank you. That's quite an intangible benefit that's
Mhm.
come through for you. Have you got tangible benefits that you could have experienced?
Yeah, and I have a lot actually. So one, I think one of the more immediate things that I noticed is healing a relationship with my family members. So specifically for me, me and my mother had a challenging relationship, and I spent a lot of time with her at the beginning of the pandemic, and that could have been much more tumultuous than it was. And I really have found a closeness to her. Um, and I'm so thankful for that. And I see that relationship continuing to grow and be nurtured over time. Another tangible benefit for me is in feeling more open to receiving and stepping into my own confidence, my own power. I received, totally unprompted, a $15,000 raise. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I don't even know if I,
Tell me
I
that. This
told
is
you about
brilliant.
that. Yeah, so right in the middle of the summer, in the middle of the pandemic. So that was huge and eye opening. It just felt validating. And then more recently, I have entered into a relationship, a romantic relationship. And again, in the middle of a pandemic, and something I was totally not expecting, but I just feel like I'm more in the flow of things, and open to receiving. And um, it's funny saying all of this at once because I've known it to happen over the last 6 or 7 months, and it is really impressive to see where I've come and what I've been able to receive in these months.
Yeah, I mean, that really is a lot. And your life has really opened and flourished from where you were at the beginning of the year. And I was going to ask you what unexpected benefits you've had, but the £15,000 raise in the middle of a pandemic, I think that'll do it.
Yeah, great.
So I'm getting the feeling that you love it, which is one of the reasons that I wanted you to come and talk, because I know I love it, and I'm inviting other people to come and join me and really get to love who they are. What would you say to someone thinking about going to invest in themselves in the inner circle for 6 months?
Sure. Um, so as I said before, the reason I jumped right in, I would say take a leap of faith in yourself. The beautiful thing about this program is that you have 6 whole months to work, in a group, um, and also do the work on your own. And the more you invest in yourself, the more time you invest, not just in the sessions that we do together, but outside of that, and utilize the platforms that we have to continue the conversation outside of our sessions, the more you're going to get out of it. But really, it is investing in yourself at the end of the day. And I think, more than made up for. Obviously, I've mentioned my raise. I've more than made up for that investment, and just have a sense of inner peace. So the accountability that this program offers for me was really key, over a length of time that truly, again, transformed my life in a short amount of time. So.
Wow, that's really wonderful. And I mean, I've known this, but talking to you about it, in this kind of capsule way, really is a big deal. And I'm so happy for you. Thank you for coming and talking about your experience, Samantha. Anyone that is watching and is inspired by the amazing results that Samantha's had, there's a link up at the top here of the post of this live stream, and it's an application link that will take you to book a call with me so that I can answer your questions. Now, there's only 10 places on the Inner Circle of Success this time round, and the investment, so we're clear, is £3,000 plus VAT. There is a payment plan option if you want that. So go and apply and come talk to me, because I'm very excited to host another Inner Circle for people like you, Samantha, to really come and be smiling and shining as you are at the end of the 6 months.
do it.
Thanks so much for coming
Thank
on,
you.
and bye everyone.